Number 2. Punished by animals. Now, this part's going to take a bit. There were a lot of animals, but I'll say it up front. The most unexpected animal award goes to the goat. From throwing criminals, prisoners of war, or Christians to lions, leopards, and bears in Rome, to tossing people to alligators, crocodiles, piranhas, and venomous snakes, animals got their fair share of humans. In South and Southeast Asia, elephants were used to crush the criminals. A similar kind of punishment was handed out in medieval England, though with a brutal twist.
Now what? We don't have an elephant. We need something big.
How about that?
Ha ha! Perfect!
Even creatures as small as rats had their turn at tormenting humans. You've probably heard of rat torture, the so-called rat cage. Well, it was born in medieval Europe, refined during the Spanish Inquisition, and later carried over to South America under colonial rule. So the setup was simple. Stick a rat on a victim's belly, slap a metal pot over it, and heat it up. The rat panics and, to escape the heat, starts digging a hole into the victim's flesh. Another twisted form of rat torture from the 16th, 18th centuries in Europe involved burying a victim up to the neck, locking a cage around the exposed head, and filling it with starving rats that then ate the victim's face alive. And then there were punishments that went straight for brute force. In medieval France and imperial China, a punishment called quartering was used. A traitor was tied to 4 horses and pulled in different directions until the body ripped apart. Word spread faster than common sense, and Persia and Anatolia thought,
We don't have horses. Can we use camels?
yeah, sure. Let's ruin camels, too. People even found cruelly creative ways to turn dogs into executioners. In 15th century Switzerland, a condemned man would be hung upside down between 2 starving dogs. And the dogs, driven mad with extreme hunger, tore into him until he was nothing but shredded flesh. Another medieval dog punishment showed up in 12th century Germany. Under Frederick Barbarossa, rebellious rebels were sometimes forced to become a walking mule. Here, a condemned noble was forced to carry a full-grown dog on his shoulders and march. What made it truly cruel, though, wasn't the dog. It was the march. It was no mere stroll down the street, but from one town to another. In some cases, the march could last a few days. By the end, the noble was half dead. He was left with a wrecked body, obliterated muscles, torn and bruised skin, and a bent spine that could not be straightened for weeks or even months. And finally, we have the goat. The punishment was called the goat's tongue, showing up in writings as early as the 12th century and again in the 1500s. Here's how you can do it at home. Smear some salt water on the soles of the victim and set a goat loose to lick it clean. Get this, goat tongues are basically sandpaper. The longer the goat licked, the more skin came off, until the victim's feet were raw, bleeding, and